Hello, day 43 of the Lockdown Wildlife Diaries, and today I want to talk to you about a highly aerial bird. It's an absolutely awesome bird, and it only spends 3 months of the year here in the UK. It spends the shortest time here than any other migratory bird. It comes here to raise its young. The rest of the year it spends south of the Sahara. I'm talking about swift. The swift arrive here in the UK from late April to early May, and then they can be back in Africa as soon as August. So they're only here for a short time, and having a swoop of swifts flying over your head screaming is the true sound of summer. They're absolutely magnificent birds. They fly around feeding on the wing, and they even sleep on the wing, mate on the wing, and collect nest material on the wing. A large chunk of their food source up there in the sky is actually spiders, and they're constantly flying around in parties trying to avoid storms and bad weather, and they can be very affected by the change in our weather up there. Climate change is having a real effect on them, as well as, of course, habitat loss. They're a long-lived monogamous bird, and they'll lay 2 to 3 eggs each year. And historically, they would have nested in holes in trees, but more so, and sometimes even exclusively in places, they're nesting in the eaves and the holes of our houses. And they're a magnificent bird, and people like me are trying to attract swifts to their house. I, up here, have got my swift boxes, and you see they're currently plugged up for the year. This is my second season of trying to attract a swift colony to my house, and I'm going to show you what I do. So these are my 3 swift boxes. Swift are very social and they like to nest in groups, so it's always best to put more than one box up. Now sadly these days our houses don't have enough holes in them. These days we're too tidy with everything we do, and it's having an impact on our wildlife. There's not enough old buildings out there with holes in, so that's why we have bird boxes. And I keep these bunged up with these little covers on them because I don't want sparrows getting in there, because they do. I've got sparrow boxes, I've got about 4 sparrow nests on my property, but these are exclusively for my friends the swifts, if I'm lucky. I'm going to show you inside. Now, like most nest boxes, the entrance hole is absolutely crucial. The swift wants to feel secure in there. So swift boxes are always at a slight angle like this, because the swift will come up into the hole. And the hole needs to be 35 by 60. It's very important that the hole is that shape and size. In here I've got a little nest cup. Now this is just mess from sparrows that have been getting in there last year, and that's what the swift want to see inside. You don't have to have this nest cup, but it helps. Now, what crazy people who are really into their wildlife like me do is I have a camera in there, so I can see if a swift comes in or not, or any other bird for that matter. And up here I've got some speakers, and these wires come out into a junction box and they go down into my garage, and I play the swift call on a timer. So that's the box, the type of box, and the hole size is very important. Now I'm going to show you my speaker setup. So the setup I've got is, firstly I've got the camera up there, and that goes down to the television in my lounge and connects up in there. That's a very basic setup. And I've got a 4-core flex cable that comes down into here, into my garage. And I've got 4 cores because I've got 2 speakers in there. Like a lot of stereos come with 2 channels, and I have 2 pairs for each conductor, so there's 4 cables in there, and they go into the back of my little amplifier. This amplifier was only, I think, 20 quid, and I've got the swift calls on this memory card. And what I do is I've got the power supply to that amplifier in a timer just here, and I've bought a TP-Link smart plug, and what that enables me to do is to plug that timer in, and I control it with an app from my phone, which is perfect. So it's pretty straightforward really, and I'm gonna tell you a great resource for looking this stuff up at the end of this video. Now, to coincide with the periods of when swift are looking for nest places, it's best to play these calls from early May until the end of July. And I start playing my calls at sunrise, which of course that time varies, but that smart plug I'm on about compensates for that. So start playing at sunrise until about 10 o'clock in the morning, and then I start playing again from 4 p.m. in the afternoon until 6 p.m. or sunset. And if it's bad weather, there's really no point bothering to play them because they won't be looking for nest sites. And juveniles will, when chicks hatch and leave the nest, juveniles will start looking for nest sites, but they won't go in there, they won't use them until the following year. And a lot of advice I've had from people is that it can generally take 3 years upwards to attract swift to a swift box, and I'm trying my best here. Now the website I'm on about, you've got to check them out. It is the place to go because swift are very complex birds, and the best website to go to is swift-conservation.org. So Swift Conservation, and they are truly keeping the skies alive. All the advice is on there. They've got all the advice about these amplifiers. It's where I got all of my information from, and they sell the bird calls to put onto a USB. This whole setup probably cost me around about 30-40 quid, not much, and it brings me so much joy. And if you're gonna play those bird calls, try and get some cooperation from the neighbours. Like, make sure your neighbours aren't bothered by it. I love hearing the noise, but I know that passer-bys, including some of my friends that are into wildlife, they keep thinking there's a swift flying around, but it's just my boxes because I'm playing the calls from within the boxes. And that's my setup, and this is my second year, and we'll see how it goes. Now, try it. You might think I'm not going to get it, but that's the same with all conservation work. You might think, oh, I won't get swifts, but you have to try. If you don't try, you won't get it. Good luck. Thanks for watching.